Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your Deadite bashing services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very, very well. And welcome to the Tartan Cabin in the Woods, where we're going to sit back and we're going to watch and enjoy and savour the ghoulish goodies enshrined forevermore in Raimi's incredible follow-up to the infamous video nasty of all time, The Evil Dead, with Evil Dead 2. One of my favourite horror comedies, and a special effects cavalcade non-stop. So, the original Evil Dead, yeah, notorious, infamous, causing controversy during the height of the UK's video nasty furore, where it was pretty much the poster boy, the figurehead of that crazy time. And it took me a couple of years to get the full uncut version of the original Evil Dead, which was nasty enough. It played the London Film Festival fully uncut, and then when it went nationwide in the UK, it was trimmed. The BBFC trimmed. Almost every scene of bloodletting was trimmed just by a couple of seconds or an impact or two. But when I watched the full version a couple of years afterwards, courtesy of my good friend and celebrated British horror author Ramsey Campbell, I was not that impressed, because there was the hand in the door and he uses the rifle butt to smash the hand. In the UK version, he just went bang, hit it once. In the full uncut version, he hit it about 3 or 4 times. And the same applied to almost every scene of violence. And the effect it had, I thought when I first saw the uncut film, was it diminished the impact, the visceral velocity of it all. Of course, I wouldn't trade for the cut version at all, but it just shows you how sometimes editing can actually have a strange effect. It can be beneficial because the full uncut version just protracted it all, and the law of diminishing returns. That said, when I first saw Evil Dead 2 at its UK premiere, and I went with a whole bunch of mates who we all grew up on the video nasties, and we couldn't wait for this movie. This was 1987, and we saw it at the Unit 4 cinema. And the Unit 4 cinema, a bit of a misnomer there. It had 6 screens, so it should have been called Unit 6, but it wasn't. It was the Unit 4, and a great place it was as well. I used to love it. Now, when we saw this, it was a packed house. It was uproarious. It was the closest I can think that it gets to American cinema audiences, where everyone's laughing and clapping and cheering and whooping and hollering. In the UK, we're a lot more sedate. We still get knifings and stabbings and shootings and people smoking pot and shagging in certain aisles. You get that, but they keep it to a minimum. They keep the noise down, and don't want to disturb other cinema goers. But I remember being initially wowed by it, Evil Dead 2, and also disappointed that it was not as gory, and that the gore in it, a lot of the gore was different colours. It was green, purple. It certainly wasn't red. There's plenty of nasty stuff in this movie, but it's not comparable with the first movie at all in terms of sheer blood-curdling violence and gore and nastiness. So I was a bit disappointed, especially because I'd all the Fangoria magazines in the run-up to the film coming out, and there were loads of pictures in those magazines which showed things which you do not see in this movie. And we're going to watch the full uncut version. Well, we're going to watch the uncut as you can get a bit. Because we all know that if you're looking at me right now and not at your screen, Evil Dead's behind me there. And he gets chopped up with an axe. There's an axe right there by Ash. But you see his head side in two, and you see limbs coming off and all that, mimicking the scene where Shelley gets chopped to bits in the original movie, but with red gore. But in this it was green, but they still cut it out, and it always has been a bit of a shame to me that they did that. However, all that said, when I'm going to watch an Evil Dead movie, and I love Army of Darkness, I still think it should be called Evil Dead 3, The Medieval Dead. It should be called that. And I've got a newfound respect for Fede Alvarez's 2010, was it 2010? 2012 remake. Didn't like that at first. I thought it was too nihilistic and too mean-spirited, and I couldn't stand any of the characters. No sense of humour whatsoever. But I've learned to appreciate it more. And at the time of this recording, I'm immensely looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. and I loved Ash vs Evil Dead, the TV show. But when I pick an Evil Dead movie to watch, and I think, oh, I'll watch the original. Oh, I feel in the mood for a bit of campy medieval stuff, bit of stop motion and all that, odes at Ray Harryhausen, and I go for Army of Darkness. I then go, I find my own possessed hand will go towards a bottle of whiskey. No, it'll go towards Evil Dead 2, almost unerringly every single time, because I have so much fun with this movie. It's got everything right, apart from the gore. It's got the suspense, the action, the fantastical phantasmagoria, that's the word. It's got all of that in place. It expands the mythos, the effects are great, the humour is off the scale, the surrealism is just uncharted, it's magnificent. The sheer camera work and invention, the cinematic and directorial verve is just incredible. And Sam Raimi went on to make Spider-Man, of course, the, Tobey Maguire, 3 Spider-Man movies. And they were great, and his really good camera work and totally in-your-face sort of direction was outstanding. And of course, Drag Me to Hell, which is another film that I totally love and really do mean to get to grips with on the channel. And but everything is showcased here that he did in the first Evil Dead with just a sort of a youthful exuberance where no one said we can't do this, so we're just going to go for broke. I'm going to just run with the camera at trees. I'm going to spin the camera around. I'm going to hang upside down. You know, they did everything that any proper film production unit would say, don't do that, are you insane? They did it anyway. And then they perfected it with this, with the effects, the greater production values, and the far more sort of technical aspects to it. It's outstanding. So, without further ado, get your copy of Evil Dead 2. And for reference purposes, this is the Studio Canal's full uncut version from the UK. Special edition with all the extra features. And it's not the original one that they put out, or someone put it out on Blue, and it was DNR'd to hell. It looked awful. But this has got the grain, the detail is there, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to do it from 5. I'm going to do it from 5 because I've just noticed that the remote control unit I've got hold of here is beginning to fall apart, and some of the buttons are unresponsive. Oh shit, we could get a couple of false starts here. Right, so I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 1, and then press play. So we should be on the same wavelength. We could be intruded upon because there's a husky which is on the move, but keep your fingers crossed. Right, so The Evil Dead 2 from 1987, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Bruce Campbell. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, it's taking its time. Oh, and that god-awful Studio Canal bloody logo. I forgot about that, didn't I? I'll turn it down a bit more. Regular clan members on the channel know that when I do these things, I often court the controversy of the YouTube gods of copyright law. And sometimes I've had these been blocked, these watch parties, but then I just do a little, counterclaim and I get it released. If they hear a snippet of the movie, sometimes that's all it takes. So I'll keep the sound down. The Necronomicon. Book of the Dead. Look at it. All this stop motion stuff. The vortex. And all these swirly sort of demonic Harryhausen homages. It's wonderful, isn't it? So you get more of the history of the Necronomicon. That's a nice cheap effect, isn't it? Just red tint, an image of the sea. Look at the book. They're great. I've got a copy of that book. There's a few prop replicas out there. Here we go. This smoky effect's great, isn't it? Renaissance Pictures presents. I mean, visually and atmospherically, it's unparalleled. Everything's going, everything's working. Off-kilter angles, weird Lovecraftian geometry, lots of camera tricks. And leaving a very deep, dark tunnel. There is the Oldsmobile, which was Sam Raimi's car. It's in all his movies, as you know. So there's Ash Williams. And what we've got here is a sort of, because even though it's Evil Dead 2 and it's meant to be a sequel, that is a wonderful shot, that. I love that. Miniatures, matte paintings, and just optical effects. And there's a lovely, very miniature cabin in the woods. All filmed in Wadesboro, North Carolina. But all this beginning is a rehash of the first movie. In the first movie, it's Ash, his sister, and his girlfriend, and Scotty and his girlfriend. So it's Ash and 4 other people. They all die. I mean, even Ash seemingly dies at the end of the first Evil Dead when the hurtling evil force rattles through the cabin and cruelly and rather, nastily takes him from behind. Beware. But they kind of rewrite this now. So it's just Ash and his girlfriend, Linda. Linda is played by, let me just check here, Denise Bixler. But so they're retro reworking the original movie to fit what this is, and it took them years to write this script. Sam Raimi and Scott Spiegel, and they did Crime Wave as well, which was a massive disaster. The film Crime Wave after The Evil Dead, and they were living in a house in LA with the Coen brothers, the great Coen brothers, and Frances McDormand, Kathy Bates, and is it Helen Hunt or Holly Hunter? What is it now? Holly Hunter. Imagine living in a house with all them. Christ alive. So it took ages to get the script done. And initially it was going to be set in medieval times, which of course would become the Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness. But then he finally settled upon this and got it out. Tone the gore down, change the different colours to get past the ratings boards. And the film got a very sort of limited distribution. But it got enough of one, and the fan base was there. There's the book and the Kandarian demon. The Kandarian dagger, sorry. See that clock on the wall? Where I'm sitting right now, we have the exact same clock, but it's not on the wall. In fact, we haven't mounted it as yet, but we have that clock. I'll show you that one day. Old reel-to-reel tape. I love the blue shirt that he's wearing. It's almost like a throwback to Quint in Jaws. Oh dear, don't let it keep playing, you fool. Professor Noby's going to read out the incantations that will awaken the dead spirits and the deadites and all the evil in the woods. There we go, look at this camera work. The cinematography is by Peter Denning, who will work with Raimi again. He worked with Wes Craven. He'd do Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He would do work with David Lynch, Lost Highway, Holland Lane. He'd work on From Hell and Scream 2, 3 and 4. Watch. Linda, the way he walks, it's like he's wading through dog shite. See, the whole events of the first movie are condensed into this little sort of opening. They love them woods. Our back garden looks just like that. I mean, it's freakishly weird, isn't it? Like a marionette on strings. Handy shovel. Ooh, of course, in the first film, he gets engulfed in the blood from the severed neck and all that, and a writhing corpse. It looks obscene. So it's toned down, even though the stuff is there, but it is toned down in this movie because he wanted to be a success. This is a great shot. This. Look at that with the lightning. He's got such a great face. His expressions, it's all very highly animated, very expressionistic in the literal sense of the word. Join us. So this would be the end of the first movie now. But look at this. Running with that camera. Pulling all these doors apart. People hiding behind all the other walls. Oh! like you're going to survive that. Being pummeled through 100 trees. I mean, it looks daft now, doesn't it? But, whoa. Oh, sploosh. They then half put Bruce Campbell through hell, don't they? Literally put him through hell. This is great as well. I remember that people in the cinema would, every few seconds they'd be jumping out the seats. But they were enjoying it. They weren't traumatised. Like the first film did traumatise you as well. I know modern audiences now look at the first Evil Dead and go, oh, it's just dead amateur. Which it isn't at all. It's so incredibly creative. And this is the quickest day ever. Just reverse photography. Still looks that effective. It does look like it's going back from whence it came. Look at his face. The nose, the chin, the eyes. It's just outstanding, isn't it? That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Workshed. And so he misses the entire day. Dumbass. When he could have got away during the daylight hours. See, he's clearly been rolling around. I think, look at that. Whoa. It's dizzying, isn't it? Almost, you can see that Raimi put everything into every shot. The way he looks around now, and the camera will track around a full 360, showing all the collapsed trees that he's just been hurtled through. I mean, obviously, in that little dizzying shot before, when he's spinning around, he hit a lot more trees than that. But it's still a great idea. Uh-oh. That cabin. It's a wonderful location, isn't it? Looks so beatific. Mosquitoes were a nightmare, though. The sun chased it all away. Get out of there! Get that shit off your face. Get going, lad. You're wasting time. It's great silent movie acting. Oh. That voice is William Preston Robertson, the Join Us voice. Right, yeah, he's got to think things through. Right, now, if I go back in there, I'm going to die. No, that's my car. Everything's at breakneck pace, isn't it? Whoa! Isn't that lovely? Oh, no, this is Ridiculous overacting here. Even Bruce Campbell really takes the piss out of himself for this. And you can tell, like, Sam Raimi must have been laughing his little bollocks off. A stop motion miniature of Ash there. I mean, that also almost evokes the chasm from King Kong as well, if you think about it. This is great. Hang on. Bloody hell, the sun's going down uber quick. Look at that, that's epic. It's not the most convincing of shots, but it's still epically sort of composed and thought out. Oh, see, coming up from the chasm. What always gets me is that he can clearly see what's there, what's coming at him. So, and this will happen a lot in the movie. So when it finally, the beast, the evil from the woods, finally does reveal itself, the rotten egg head, whatever they call it, comes through towards the end, and his hair turns white when he sees it. He's already seen the fucking thing, you know. This is crazy stuff, isn't it? Oh, everything is so overblown. Like the camera that went over the car in the first movie, now they go through the car. Everything is amped up. And this is terrific as well. And he gets in there. It's now going through the house after him. How many doors are left in that place? Christ, it's a labyrinth. It's like the Overlook Hotel. That always reminds me of Tales from the Crypt, where they line the blind people in the home, line the walls with razor blades. The evil guy that runs the place, they get their revenge on him, and they make him walk through a gauntlet of razor blades, just like walls like that, wooden slatted walls. And his own dog, his German Shepherd dog, has been starved and left in another door. And they open the door, and he's stuck in the razor blade lined labyrinth with his own starving dog coming for him. It's brilliant. I love the sound of the air, the shutters bang bang in the wind. And I couldn't find him. I love the way it groans as well, like oh, because it didn't get him. The cellar. But who's under the cellar this time? Aren't these enigmatic little miniature shots are wonderful. And suddenly you get a whole new location, something massively, changed from the original movie, where you suddenly broaden the horizons. And there she is, Annie Noby, the professor's daughter. And there's Ed. So she is played by Sarah Berry, and Evil Ed is played by Richard Domier. That's bad hair. That's bad hair, Rich. Look at the case as well. Look at it. All the travel labels all over it. Oh man, that's bad hair. And that's me saying that, Some of these shots. I'm going to say right now, the film is all genius, but the film works best when Ash is on his own. And I'd love an entire movie of just Ash from this part of the mythos on his Jack Jones in the cabin. Look, he spent ages boarding up the windows as well. From all the splintered doors. The persistent wind. Howling round. Watch your step, mate. I went to a Halloween party once where I was bedecked as Ash. My hair was long as well, and it was many, many years ago, and I had a ponytail. Didn't quite, of course I've got a big fat face, I haven't got a face like him, but I had the shares and the kecks, the cords, and I had all gelatin blood all over my face, and it looked great. It's funny how like someone with cuts and bruises can look iconic, but look at Mad Max, you know, blasted and ripped apart, and you know, his legs done in, you know, and he still look heroic. Oh. Oh, the necklace. Such a pivotal part it played. You can tell like Sam Raimi's really just like, go on, Bruce, come on, act. You're distraught, come on. And he's chuckling, you know. All the crew are laughing their heads off at him, like trying to emote, but he's really good. But it is like a silent movie performance. Use your eyes, use your face. Oh, this is how eerie is this? Ooh. No, it just becomes a doll. I mean, it's a Barbie head there. But the girl who's doing the actual dancing is, oh God, what's her name? Snowy Winters. Snowy Winters. That sounds like someone Donald Trump would have an illicit affair with. I mean, it's meant to look ridiculous. It's not meant to look like the girl herself. This is wonderful. And the little, when she's, whee! Silence never lasts too long. Boom. Oh. Look at the glee on her face. I'm going to smash your skull in. But you're back in the chair. Almost like the psychologist's chair. Just sit down and tell me what your problems are. But you gotta love overacting. If you were Bruce Campbell, that's what you've got to do. Yeah, okay. Woo! God, the dead-eye eyes. Oh. He even smashes her head into us, into the camera, you know. Boff. Cleverly done, isn't it? Like, whoa! You've got a guy that's willing to throw himself around the set all over the show. Real flames there as well. I could have put his head in that. Watch out. Can't even walk down some steps properly. He was clumsy as hell in the first movie. He's even worse in this one. Look at... Watch out, folks. Oh! You're going down. The first film had such wonderful voices when they were all possessed, and the sound design was totally created. Like, where's the chainsaw? This film was cut in the UK, you know, when it first came out. On home video it was cut. And they cut some of this sequence down. just hit him again. You can tell. Just don't worry about Bruce. Just hit him again. Yeah, the sound design in the first movie was completely off the wall. A lot of critics despised the sound design. They praised the movie and its creativity, but like, bloody hell, just make it stop. It's a lot more accomplished and polished in this film, of course, but see how simple is that effect, and it still looks really, really good. Do it! Well, you are getting real blood. I mean, not real blood. You're getting red blood there, and you will get that again when he severs his own hand with that self-same chainsaw. Homages, of course, to Texas Chainsaw Massacre there, of course, with the things on the wall and the chainsaw. And, of course, you've had Freddy's glove from Nightmare on Elm Street. The ongoing sort of in-jokery between Wes Craven and Sam Raimi, of course, stemming from The Hills of Eyes, Wes Craven's Hills of Eyes, having the Jaws poster ripped in half in the camper van, showing that, well, you think Jaws was scary and horror. I'm going to show you something else, thought Wes Craven. And Sam Raimi thought, well, okay, you thought Hills of Eyes was real horror and scary. So they had the poster from The Hills of Eyes in the cellar in Evil Dead 1, ripped in half. And then you had Johnny Depp, the young Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street, watching Evil Dead, the first one, on TV, and he just turns it off. He's like, oh, yawn, turns it off. Like, and the ongoing thing, and of course you've had the Freddy Krueger glove in this, just hanging on the wall. By the way, I'm supping Claymore whiskey at the moment, so whatever you've got to hand to drink from, raise it now. To Bruce, to Sam Raimi, to the Evil Dead. It is just relentless, isn't it? And it recalls every haunted house movie since haunted house movies were made. Like, what does he think he's going to do? If he touched something, what's going to happen then? It just, oh. And he gets this woozy sort of like, oh, okay. I'll just look in the mirror, make sure I'm okay. And this is great too. Oh yeah. That is an amazing effect. That's not quite such an amazing effect, but it still works. Does that sound fine? No, this is wonderful. Oh, really? That's glass. It's a mirror. Yeah. Something in there though. Better check again. Catch it. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Oh no! Not my hand. Where did all that green come from on his shirt all of a sudden? If you listen, the hand has a voice. It calls his name. It's doing all sorts. It calls him. Fuck you, bastard son of a bitch. He says at one stage when it walks into a mousetrap. He's doing that so well. You bastards. Give me back my hand. Oh. What would you do if part of your own body turned against you? Of course, you could always put the analogy there that cancerous growths and tumours are part of your own body working against you. You could. I don't think that's what Raimi was thinking of, but certainly there as an idea. And of course, the history of possessed hands, the Beast with Five Fingers. What's the one with Christopher Lee, where he's the critic, and a severed hand, the artist's severed hand goes after him, he sees it everywhere. And there's so many others. Is it Body Parts? And there's loads. He's great. These two rednecks are wonderful. I think his name is Dan Hicks. I just checked that. Dan Hicks. Yeah, Dan Hicks playing Jake. Dan Hicks. He's playing a hick and his name is Hicks. And of course he's got his girlfriend, Bobby Joe. Here she is, spitting sleazebag. And she's played by Cassie Wesley. And of course these two Hicks see an angle they can exploit. Look at him. Well, yeah, that's right. He hasn't said anything. He's agreeing with someone who hasn't even spoken. Well, yeah, I remember that. That's right. $100. Okay, but you've got to carry my case. He just sees that, thinks, yeah, okay, but we've seen that massive crate that got lifted in. Oh, look at that. We're saying now the effects were done by makeup master Mark Shostrom, who had done, he'd work on The Fly, he'd work on Nightmare on Elm Street, he'd work on so many movies, From Beyond, but he was also working with, oh God, no, look at this. This goes on. And it is, but if you listen to that, he goes, my teeth. My teeth. Punching yourself in the guts, in the face, and then flipping yourself over. It's the Three Stooges. It's Abbott and Costello. It's Lauren Hardy. It's Harold Lloyd. It's all of that. Ugh. You know, if I was Sam Raimi, I don't know how I'd resist putting a real plate in there, not one of these sort of like sugar glass breakable things. The way the hand sees that. Yeah. It's got a voice, folks. It's got a voice. How's the hand speaking? It hasn't got vocal cords. Great. It's a good reverse shock because it's our guy who's going to do the jump scare here. Oh. Who's laughing now? Yeah. Oh. Pulls the cord with his teeth. Who's laughing now? Oh, God. Wouldn't take that long to get through your wrist with a chainsaw. Look at that. Smoky, almost liquid clouds. Love that. The original movie had a lot of that effect in it as well. Sort of E.T. there, perhaps. Oh, the fashions of the 80s. The scarf and the shorts. What is that meant to be? And here we go, here's Jake. Goddamn little bags. That cabin has seen better days, hasn't it? Look, 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 look. Is your new home. Look at the books he puts on top. What is it? Another little in joke. The farewell to arms. These are all Scott Spiegel, who co-wrote it with Sam Raimi. All these little in jokes and stuff, they're his idea. Can't remember who does the voice of the hand, to be honest. Might be Raimi himself. Of course, Raimi's brother Ted Raimi is in the movie. We'll discuss that when it happens. The hand's got away. The stump. And you can hear it laughing at him, cackling. This little demonic voice. The other way that a cabin becomes a battleground. Look at that. Hey, I'm off. Right, fuck you. Even the gleefully old school stop motion and the jerky sort of filming technique doesn't matter. Look at this. Outstanding. Yeah, come on, Daddy-o. What are you going to do now? Fuck you, son of a bitch. It says. The way he can move his eyebrows. And you'll see him move his ear in a moment. Look, watch. Such physical performance. Physical comedy. You little sucker. Imagine going after your own hand with a blood feud, a vengeance. Whoa! Of course, this will change colour. Of course, the hoses and jets that they were actually hitting him with were literally knocking him over. And he's slipping and sliding on all of it. I'll see if we don't. Here we go again. Another classic moment of pure insanity, this. Ugh. This is one of my favourite scenes ever. The way it's filmed, the way it's directed. Look at the lamp, those angle poised lamps. It's Popeye, innit? The books are laughing at him, everything's laughing at him. So he oh, okay, I'll laugh with you. And the lamp, even the lamp gets on with him. They're all like, okay, look, if you're on side, then we all get the joke. Oh, even the trapdoor is laughing. Oh my God. And then he begins to go mad, of course, like, no. Imagine the other crowd coming near the cabin right now. You're not going to do it, are you? Oh, God. Never go to the woods, folks. Never go into the woods. If Bigfoot and UFOs don't get you, the Necronomicon will. This is cleverly done as well. This filming and editing here. Editing is done by Cade Davis. Okay. It's so well done, isn't it? Timing, folks, as they always say, is everything. Such an idiot. There was still quite a distance for Jake to have come through there. So you would have seen him coming. The blows, the sound effects for the blows are so exaggerated as well. Oh, no, no! Oh! Oh. It almost looks like a stage play now, doesn't it? All the performers come in. You're on the set, and it's like the stage. Oh, that bit was cut in the UK on their UK home video initially, and another kick to the face is also cut as well. Well, was cut. Not something you want to see, is it? I mean, I think you would assume that he was the killer, wouldn't you? You'd think something had horrific had happened there, which of course it has. And you would blame him. He's covered in blood. There's no sign of your folks. Poor bastard. Oh God, they will go down there. Yeah. See, that was trimmed as well. See, even falling down literally 5 feet of steps takes ages in a Sam Raimi movie because you hit every step on the way down. I hope you rot down there. Bobby Joe. What's the age gap between them two? It's about 20 years. Yeah, everything's there. The tape recording's there. It's good timing on like start playback again. And you're going to hear about what happened to Henrietta, become host to a Kandarian demon. And the voice of Professor Nobi is John Peaks. John Peaks, is that? And you're going to see Henrietta as well, his wife, her mother, played by Lou Hancock, but also famously by Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, and he puts the suit on. Oh no! Oh shit! Ah, Wormhead. That's Ted Raimi now in a big fat suit that he sweated gallons out of for the days that he filmed him in it. Someone with a fresh soul. Of course, a complete sort of reworking of what you saw in the original movie, where it was Shelley who was trapped in the cellar, and she was dead ice, but she would also play tricks and appear to be normal. Look at it. Oh God. You will see sweat pour out of the ear. You'll see rips in the suit as well. Pee-wee head. That's what they called it. Ooh! Hello. Oh. How long are its arms? Oof. Boosh. Ah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Put his head through the wall as well. Right, come on. You've got some fucking knowledge of these bastards. Come on, you can do it. Boof! Ooh! It's a ping pong ball. He's good at kicking people in the head, isn't he? I think we give it a hand here, because I've only got one. Would you mind giving me a hand? His dog tags. You gotta kind of wonder, are they his dog tags? I've got a feeling he'd be a draft dodger somehow, making hooch in the mountains. So whose dog tags are they? I don't think Jake was ever in the military. Total and utter complete image recap from the first movie. There's something out there, there's something down there, there's something everywhere. And my bloody hand's around here as well. Bruce. From the dead. She had to scream to stop everyone from laughing at Bruce's exposition there. Oh, this is great, this. This is Lou Hancock. He's a fucking prat, him, isn't he? Ed. This is so creepy, this. A mockingbird. Unlock these chains. Quickly. Don't do it. I know what these things are like. That's my mother. It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, how would you react? You've just seen a monster down there. Now your mother is there. She'd be thinking, well, maybe we didn't find my mother's body. So maybe she has been kept down there. And now she's all right. Okay, you don't think that then, all right. Look at this. This is outstanding. We are the things that were and shall be again. Come on, Bruce. Use your eyes. Just look around. Dead by dawn. Dead by dawn. The teasing that they do. Whoa! Listen, I've got long hair, and when it strays into my gob, I immediately retch. So, the thought of that. Let me out! Look at the way he moves. Suddenly, the ceiling was about 15 feet high. Filthy coward. You bitch. You know, the shit he's been through. Help us, you filthy coward. Well, I've got my axe. What? So, you know, this is where I was saying earlier. They did show the limbs coming apart, and that his head was bisected diagonally, and the scalp would actually sort of sprout legs and skitter across the floor. They had to go after it, but it was all removed. Shame, isn't it? You don't even see his twitching body. Great, they all come into the frame. They changed the blood then, didn't they? And it was green. It was St. Paddy's Day green. So let's say the effects were done by Mark Shostrom, but also by KNB, the great 80s and early 90s group KNB, which would be, who was the B? It was Howard. Hang on, who was the K? It was Robert Kurtzman. Who was the KNB? It was N. It was Greg Nicotero. You know those names. Walking Dead. And it was KNB. Howard Berger. See, I got there in the end. Oh, this is great. Time just stops. That's the clock that we've got. Time just stops. By the way, I keep saying this clock, but our version doesn't bloody work. It doesn't. Bastard bloody thing. This is great. In your full surround, it's wonderful. I love all this supernatural shenanigans that takes place. Back to the effects guys, KNB, Mark Shostrom, and also Tom Sullivan. Tom Sullivan was the guy that created the Book of the Dead and Necronomicon and the Kandarian dagger. And he worked with Sam Raimi on the first movie. He's worked with Raimi since, and he worked on this. I think he works on Army of Darkness as well. I mean, it's an industrial locomotive sniffing up and down the joists and the woodwork. Who comes up with those ideas? Well, Sam Raimi. Although, I say that. How does he know that? You know, what is it? It sounds like something trying to force its way into our world. He's a big paranormal fucking expert now. Oh, that's great, that. The sizzling lightning. And the blue light and that pounding. It's reminiscent, of course, of The Haunting. Robert Wise's original The Haunting. It's come from in there. See, Ash will become the hero. He always is the reluctant hero. He spends half the first movie under the flimsiest of shelves and cupboards and agonises his way out of them to fight reluctantly against people that he once loved and now chop them all to bits. I'll go with you. They're only going across the room. It sounds like they're about to go through the Borgo Pass or something. Hey, I'll go with you. But they'll drag this out though. Because even crossing a room becomes epic in an Evil Dead movie. It's all shot so beautifully. Colours are vivid. Shadows are fantastic. The contrast is amazing. His face is a film set. It's a film set / special effect in its own right, and it's real. How does anyone make an entrance like that? Uh-oh. This is great. Ensemble shots like that. John Carpenter does that. Howard Hawks does that. It's Professor Noby. He's looked better. Annie. I love people getting lined up in shots like that. I just said about John Carpenter doing it. And how Howard Hawks would do it as well. It's very old school sort of style, getting all your cast to line up. In the pages of the book. I'd love that as a prop, actually. A glass case with like the pages of Necronomicon in there. Save my soul! Oh, God. Baby, I'm holding your hand. Ooh. The drawn out look. That's a bit crazy, that isn't it? You know, you took your time to light the lantern. Where's Bobby Joe? I think he took his teeth out for this, if I remember rightly. Of course, this is the throwback to the infamous tree rape in the first movie, which Sam Raimi always says, I wish I hadn't done that. That was the only thing that even they thought was in bad taste. And it really doesn't. If you look at the first Evil Dead movie, sexual violence, there's a lot of titillation and tease and luring of people, but actual sort of rape was, it doesn't fit in with the movie. Terrifying scene and disturbing. So they do it again, they rework it here, but it's not quite the same. You've got like the trees from Mordor. You've got Ents on the rampage. Great reverse photography there. But you think you're in for the same sort of thing here. But you get penetration of a different kind. It's still grim, don't get me wrong. And it's far more technically accomplished, but look at that. It's like, that's a great shot, that. But this is just like, where the hell are we going? And now they're going into her skin. Oh, God. Like, what's going on? Oh. Superbly done. Like, he doesn't care. You know, you'd be like, oh, God, you don't want to cut yourself, but it doesn't give two shits now. He's lost a hand. He's been attacked and battered, bruised, beaten, abused, choked on all the icky stuff. Doesn't care now. A few glass cuts, not going to bother him. He overacts that as well. Someone just walked over my grave. After all you've been through, that'd be you wouldn't feel a damn thing. But of course, he's looking at an image of himself. It's himself from the past. Prophesized to come back and defeat the Deadites. Well, yeah, really. Except that the guy that was prophesized that came back and defeated the Deadites was happened to be Bruce Campbell. He was an idiot. Batum, Barada, next one. So you've got to summon it in the first place in the flesh. Why the hell we want to do that? There's always one. I mean, it's like Night of the Living Dead. You know, you get people thrust into a cabin or a house, isolated. They've got to work together. Someone ultimately will work against you. No, you idiot! He's so OTT. But it works. Mumbo jumbo bullshit. At least it doesn't put him in a fire. What if you put them in the fire? The whole thing would be game over. He's a grotesque lump, isn't he? Of pure redneck fucking hatred. But you love him. Look at her. The state of her. The shorts and the socks. What? It's a ridiculous sort of girl guide. Is it even now? Ash is getting abused. She's lost her boyfriend and doesn't give a shit, does she really? He's forgotten about. Chopped up. You do need to know what happened to that body, because there was a lot more of that, but I love this though. Look at the the trees are shuffling about. That's a good shot, I like that. I'm thinking crinoids from Doctor Who. No trail. He's great. Bobby Joe! And poor Ash is going to get some more battering with the shotgun. Uh-oh. Not Bobby Joe. Joy and us. Oh, fucking hell. But then again, that's his... Look at his face. Bobby! Joe! He's sweaty, horrible bastard, isn't he? Where are you, girl? He is great, isn't he? Oh no! It's more than just his hand. He's like sailing through the air. And this is great as well. I love this. Look, evil Ash. Join us. And the jerky movements. Again, massively exaggerated. Remember I said about Bruce Campbell in the first movie, he spends half his time underneath the flimsiest of shelves and cupboards, and it takes him hours to get from under him. He'll do the same thing here. It's almost like a throwback to it. Yes, there's the dagger. It's one hell of an icky dagger, isn't it, that? It's like pure, it's like a prehistoric penis, from a dragon. Well, door handles make enormously momentous sounds in the Evil Dead movies. How big is this bloody cabin? It don't look that big from outside, when admittedly it is a miniature. And a lot of shots. What's that? Is that a fucking dispenser on the wall there? With Chewies and tampons and things. Is that what it is? And Durex? Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right. Come on, girl. Ready? Ready? You all know what's coming here. Oh, God, this is great. Oh, the poor bastard. Oh, no. Hey! Give us your hair. Oh. Oh! Just that poor bastard. And she still can't drag him far enough. She's going to stove his legs. Look at this. The trellis and stuff. He spends hours. Poor guy's been battered. Really milking it every single frame. It's a good screamer. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? Is it? Are we okay? Oh! She leans on the dagger that she's thrust through. Get the thing out of me. Does look very rubbery there, doesn't it? Like, oh! He'd be fountaining gore by now, which I wish, you know, being an Evil Dead movie, I wish you'd seen. Oh my god. I mean, I know Ash has been through hell, but that's a mortal wound he's got there. She's yelling in his face, shut up! It's like, you just fucking stabbed me. You've beaten me to death with a door. And she's like, shut up! Yaks. Yeah, I'll just drag it over here. I'll put you. I tell you what. I think I'll put you by the cellar trapdoor. Yeah, you'll be alright there, won't you? You okay? All right. No worries. Hello. Oh. Oh dear. Suddenly his body looked about 20 foot long there, didn't it? Oh. The thing is, you can't be offended by that because it's just red water being jetted everywhere. You know, that's all it is. You don't remotely think for a second that that's gore. Hello. I got past that goddamn trellis. How is that cabin still standing? It's great. It's a great possessed mask that he's wearing in there. The prosthetics, I should say, not a mask. See how that's in the shape of a skull? See that? This means something to me. Sort of demonic ruminations there. Did I once love somebody? Is my infernal heart capable of love? Those lenses on the eyes are great, aren't they? The teeth. It's a very emotive movie. People scream a lot, shout a lot. This is great as well. Like, No. I'm all right. It's me. Why, you wouldn't believe anyone was going to be all right. You've been possessed once, you're going to be possessed again. Oh! She's a bad shot with an axe, isn't she? Christ. Look at his face. You listen to me. I'm all right. Okay. I'm all right. Yeah. You're the one who's got a problem.
But for how long?
Exactly. Bloody good points, hon. pages? Where are the pages? And carve ourselves a witch. That's great, isn't it? There's Ted Raimi again, you know. Acting better than Bruce Campbell. The 18 montage. Jing, solder, weld, boom, you know. It was a real chainsaw, but they massively modified so he could fit his hand inside the assembly, and all the teeth are obviously cut down. You know? So safety on set. Safety on set. You've seen him smash himself around the entire place, kick himself to buggery and back. Here we go. Groovy. I love this. They shuffle, the roots shuffle round, and they get the big whoosh of the leaves in a minute. They're all getting ready, lifting themselves up. Right, we're going into action. These aren't a good duo. They're antagonistic, but they are a good duo. Good use of a real chainsaw there as well, by the way. You know, to reinforce the fact that you believe it's a real chainsaw. She's very pretty here, actually. I do like her. A certain barmaid I know looks just like her. I mean, even now, she's sporting the same 80s hairdo, the barmaid. But she's about the same age as the girl is there. I digress. Some of the scenes in the cellar in the first movie are extraordinarily good. Very, very potent. Which is where you saw the Hills of Eyes poster. And of course, down here, you've got the Freddy Krueger glove. You can't exactly be stealthy when fucking doors creak like crazy. And you've got like door handles and doorknobs that go chunk, you know. Again, just how big is this cellar? It's enormous. And a cabin, you know, it's got all pipes and steam and, you know, tanks of stuff. Look at all this intricate plumbing. What the hell is all that for? There's cables and everything. I know fucking skyscrapers that don't have that amount of intricate sort of plumbing work and electricity. Is it a nuclear bunker as well? Maybe that's what we explored in some later movie. I don't know. Look at the generator. Generator's gone. Maybe we can fix it. It's gone, McCready. Oh, sorry, wrong film. That's poor Jake there. In the Fede Alvarez version of this, you would have had those rats would have been nailed to the walls like in Hellraiser. Pages. Got some pages. All these bottles and jars and stuff like hanging. Look at this. What a hell of a shot. How would you throw up a bunch of pages like that together? If they were wet enough to stick together to be thrown like that, then they're too wet to be able to read and decipher. Hello? Every fall takes hours, doesn't it? Nosferatu there. Or Nosferatum, I think she says. Again, you got some great stuff here. The way things suddenly happen. Build up. And like, it's not what you expect. And look, whoa, look at that. That's genius, that. This is where you, the sweat pouring out of him, out of that suit. Look at this, guy's good. You see the rips in the suit as well. Doesn't matter. The build up here. Joe LaDuca's music, who scored Evil Dead 2, and he would do Spartacus, the TV show. Oh, I don't know if you look. You can see it all pouring out of his ear. Oh, there's a lot of jaw holding. People grabbing hold of people's gobs. I'll get you. Ooh. What the hell? This is the Pee-wee head again. I swallow your soul, I swallow your soul. I know. Don't say nothing. It looks goofy as fuck, doesn't it? With some of the stuff like that. The film Dreamscape had the same sort of problem as well with its integration of stop motion and visual effects. I was gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that diamond ring don't shine, Mama's gonna buy you a porcupine. It's great, but it's not dead yet. Look at that, the way it's farting out of its severed neck. I swallow you, soul, I swallow you. Swallow this. In the 80s, it was the age of the one-liner, you know. Look at that. Not over yet, though, buddy. Look, he is like the hero now. The Titanic hero of Greek mythology, you know. Albeit with a chainsaw and a shotgun, you know, okay. Hey. And he beefed up for the role as well after the first one. Bruce Campbell did a lot of work on it, knowing that his body would be on show. Although we're not talking exactly Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone here, but, you know, there's an effort there. You can see it. Uh-oh. Oh, those fucking trees. Isn't it wonderful though, folks? It doesn't stop. It just adds more and more. With every scene, almost every minute, you've got a new threat, a new jeopardy. Even Indiana Jones gets a bit more of a break and a bit more of a travelogue than Ash does. Whoa. They don't half sell the movements. They oversell them a lot, I know, but that's the point of it though. Look at this. Yeah, you did the first of the passes, but you've got to do the rest, haven't you? Look, she's actually delivering exposition to him whilst they're being pulled to bits. The what? Yeah, we fucking know that. Why waste time? And he's like, just fucking read it then. Oh, it is. Rotten apple head. It's almost like a Mad Max 2. Mad Max has the sort of little white wisp in his hair to, you know, loss. That bloody hand's back again. That always looks really badly faked to me, to be honest, you know. A big knife in someone's back in Evil Dead movie should look a bit more convincing. So you can hear a husky's paws frantically trotting up and down wooden floorboards. That's a great face, that. The vortex opens. The Oldsmobile is going to get dragged in. You'd see something very similar in Hellraiser. The what do you call it? The keeper, the guardian of the labyrinth, has a face like that. Archie dies. Joe LaDuca's music is great. It's elegiac. Victory is ours. Right in the eyeball. Yeah, get in there. Whoa. All the Nobis have been killed, haven't they? The Nobis have all died. Of course, you can think everything's gonna stop now. Even the tree hand goes away. Where's all the blue come from? That's the blue blood of the air. That big gushing eyeball, isn't it? I suppose. Blue. What? No! Make it stop. Not over, mate. Got no chance. It wants you. Bits of furnishings and fittings always, you can't trust them. They'll either hit him or they'll come loose in his hand. He'll be trapped under them. This is great though. Love the idea of that. He's still hanging on. This super surreal moment here. Oh, poor Ash. Jesus. Oh, when in Blackpool Illuminations. And the music. Joe LaDuca suddenly brings this sweet European lullaby in. It's, you know, that's such an easily reproduced shot, but you can see how effective it actually looks. Look, Mad Max. It's Mad Max there. Oh. Until you meet these guys. You'd be like, oh fuck, just give me a fucking break. I'm bloody starving and I need a piss, for one thing. Huh? You know, he's lucky here because if a Deadeye hadn't suddenly appeared, he'd have been skewered. He'd have been kebabbed. Oh. Great sound effects as well. The chunks are blowing everywhere. Of course, we know from Army of Darkness, this is my boomstick! And again, there's Sam Raimi, the director's cameo again. How dare you ever skit the acting of Bruce Campbell? You're fucking abysmal yourself. But it's still brilliant though. No. You know, that old medieval California, yeah, was full of gothic castles and knights. Ka-ching! Well, there you go, folks. That was Evil Dead 2, which is outstanding. I think you'll agree. It's a riot. It is a cacophony of sound and visuals, of gore and effects, and of uber arch performances, which know that they're being completely OTT and very overly dramatic and theatrical. But that's the point. That's the point. They're having such a great deal of fun making it. You can't help but have a great deal of fun watching it, because it's outstandingly well done. Their commitment to the cause, their belief in what they're doing, even though it's all for a laugh, but they know that they created something great with Evil Dead. Here's a name I didn't mention throughout the entirety of this, but they owe such a huge debt of gratitude to H.P. Lovecraft, because the whole thing is very Lovecraftian, whereas Lovecraft wouldn't describe often the things that we're moving in the shadows and the things that are happening to people. He would allude to things, whereas in Evil Dead and in this, they show them front and centre. It's there, this is what's going on. You're getting possessed, your body's changing. There's evil spirits in the woods. They're going to corrupt, and they're foul and abominations. They're going to drag you into a deep, dark place, and we're going to show that happening. Lovecraft only hinted at that, but this goes full throttle in your face with everything. Throws it all at you. But it's saving grace, of course. It's Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi together are a tour de force with their entourage as well. But you get Campbell in front of the camera and just gaining and expressing and throwing himself around, beating himself to a pulp, and you get Raimi with his insane ideas and incredibly dizzying direction, and that camera work, that cinematography. You bring that all together, and it's a cavalcade of energy and chaos, and you've got to love it. I would say Evil Dead is still, the first Evil Dead is still, it's the scariest movie. I think the jumps in that are so well done, and there's a pervading sense of real dread, despite the comedy that's in there, the blackest of black comedy that's in there. It's still scary. Evil Dead 2 really, really does sort of go for broke. It's got horror, it's got jump scares, it's got the nightmarish scenario, there's blood, chaos and violence, but it's far, far more in a comedic vein. And then you've got Army of Darkness, which is less horror and more fantasy. Nothing wrong with that, of course. It's an evolution. It's a further exploration of these themes, and it takes you further into it. But I love it, but it's not. It's the least of the Raimi 3, but the Raimi 3 are all better than the Fede Alvarez remake. I can't speak for Evil Dead Rise right now, but I will be. At the moment, at the time of this recording, I have not seen Evil Dead Rise because it hasn't been released yet. But I do like the trailers for it. I mean, it does look very mean-spirited and dark, but with lots of hark-backs to the trilogy that we know and love. Then you've got, obviously, Ash versus Evil Dead, which initially I did not like the half-hour sort of timescale to each episode, but I like bringing in Lee Majors as well was a terrific thing, and Lucy Lawless, and I did enjoy it a lot. And the gore was unparalleled. It goes beyond anything in the first 3 movies completely. It's funny how times change, and now you're allowed to do all that kind of thing, even for TV. But the first 3 are still the greatest by far. And the most fun you'll have watching a horror movie is, without a doubt, with that movie, with Evil Dead 2. As I say, Joe LaDuca, who did the score for the first Evil Dead and this one. It was Danny Elfman did the score for the third one. But LaDuca would do one of my favourite historical action, martial arts, fantasy, horror, thriller, action movies ever is Brotherhood of the Wolf. and he delivered an astonishingly amazing score for that movie. He did Boogeyman as well, which is not a good film, but it's a great score. And of course Spartacus and Ash vs Evil Dead and many others. And he's a great, great composer. I still await his name to be regaled by other film score fans, but no one else ever talks about him. So I don't know what's going on there. Raimi, what's Raimi doing now? What, apart from lending his name as a producer to, further Evil Dead stuff? I'm not sure. Drag Me to Hell was great fun. It was Evil Dead without the gore. There was lots of eye and orifice stuff. He likes things going into people's eyes and mouths and ears and things. He loves that. Again, that's a hark back to the likes of Lucio Fulci, who had lots of eye damage and brain damage and lots of uber nasty carnage during the period that Evil Dead came out, certainly. And so it's definitely a hark back to that sort of thing. But Drag Me to Hell is a wonderful, totally aggressive audio-visual assault upon the senses, and it totally captures the style, the vigorous camera work. Again, the same cameraman did Drag Me to Hell as did Evil Dead 2. And it's just, it's an explosive assault. So I'll cover Drag Me to Hell at some point as well. But back to Evil Dead 2. How much fun can you have in a scant 87 minutes? It's great. It's just great. Severed hands causing havoc. You've got the guy he's got the most angular, longest horse-headed face you could ever imagine, and yet he can still do so much with every part of it. He can bug his eyes out. He can arch his eyebrows like Roger Moore. He can twist his chin into ever more contorted variations. His cheekbones are so high, and it works. He becomes his own animation, and that's visual artistry. That's physical comedy, physical acting to the nth degree. And yes, I'm belabouring the point because right now, folks, I've got to get off. I've got other stuff to do. I've got another film to see at the Flicks as well. So I'm going to which I'm reporting back on afterwards. So it's Kilt-Man in a cabin in the woods with The Evil Dead with Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell and co. Great effects, great imagination, sheer cinema verite and verisimilitude, and also another V word. It's vaudeville. It's sheer performance. It's everything thrown at you. And it works as a piece of theatre, as a piece of physical comedy and action. You don't even need dialogue at all. The film would still work perfectly well just with Ash on his own against all these things assailing him. And just all these set-bound afflictions, the set coming apart around him, things being thrown at him, hose pipes of blood and gore being hurled and gushed all over him. It works. I don't think there's another film really to match this in terms of physical acting and ridiculous OTT sort of extrovertism, because that's what Bruce Campbell does so superbly well, and it works for this movie. Folks, I have been always shouting Kilt-Man. Please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic, and we'll be back again for another watch party soon. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you just stumbled upon this and you lasted through this. For regulars, again, tell your friends, tell everybody, join the Celtic clan. We can do this a lot more. The more people that join, the bigger the clan becomes and the more power we have. And with great power comes great fun, So let's make it happen. Please keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all in a sort of crazy, warped flesh, axe-wielding, chainsaw-wielding, shotgun-wielding maelstrom near you. And I've still got whiskey left, so quite a lot of it left, actually. Cheers, y'all. Deadites. You gotta love them. They love fun, don't they? They live beyond the grave, but for fun, for chaos and anarchy. They are just evil jokers, even more evil than the Joker. That's what they live and exist for. Bastards! But you want to party with them because they're gonna have the greatest time, you know?